established rich coming right back at you. JayZ just sat down and gave you something he don't give out often. He gave you access to his mind, not just his image. And there's a big difference between those two things. We're talking about JayZ, a man who has spent 3 decades moving with intention. A man who does not talk unless there's something to say. And right now, he's saying a lot without raising his voice. He said, we've played enough defense. 2026 is all offense. And that line right there was not for everybody. That line right there was for people who understand what it means to spend years defending your image, defending your name, your moves, your decisions, and then one day you wake up and realize something simple. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. That's what that line means. That's a man who done fought every battle he needed to fight. And now he's choosing his moves different. Not out of fear, but out of clarity. Now, let's talk about where he went first in that interview. He went straight into the Kendrick Lamar and Drake situation. And his response was not what people expected. He said he almost wishes it never happened. Now, hold on. This is the man who stood in fire his whole career. This is the same man who never backed down from competition. And he's looking at this moment and saying, that ain't it. That right there tells you the game done changed.
We love the excitement. And I love the sparring and the music you get. Mm-hmm. But in this day and age, it's so much negative stuff that comes with it that you almost wish it didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a final thing. Now people that like Kendrick hate Drake.
Yeah.
No matter what he makes, no matter what he says, and it goes far too. It's like attack on his character and his thing and it's like, I don't know if I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful to our growth. Where the fallout lands, mm-hmm. especially on on social media, which takes place every day.
Yeah.
And now you have these pods of cult.
The Stan armies fighting.
Yeah, and it's like, it's too far.
Yeah.
It's like bringing kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that. Maybe I've grown in a space that is probably, I sound like the old guy wagging the finger. But I think we can achieve the same thing as far as like sparring with music, with collaborations more so than breaking the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
It could stand it before because there was no social media and there was no thing. And, you had the battle and it was fun and then you moved on.
Right.
Right now, I don't know if it could stand it with the technology that we have.
Because it takes up so much oxygen?
It takes up so much oxygen.
Yeah.
And now it's just like every day they're just trying
they're still talking about it.
It's not just talking about it. Not like, yo, this song, I like this.
Yeah.
It's like trying to tear down the people's life.
Yeah.
It's like trying to, wreck this guy's marriage or this guy's relationship with his child. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it at this point.
Yeah.
When you come back from that, you can feel what he was saying without him having to spell it out for you. This is not about who won the battle. This is about what the battle turned into. He talked about the Stan armies, about the way people took sides like it was a war. And once you start seeing that, you realize something important. This ain't just music anymore. This is identity. This is tribes. This is people attaching themselves to artists like their life depended on it. And that's where this thing gets dangerous. Because it's not about who had the better verse. It's about who you ride for. And when it becomes that, the music loses. And JayZ can see that clear. He said something else that people probably skipped over. He questioned whether rap battles even need to exist anymore. Now that's a big statement because battle rap built hip hop. It created legends. But what he's really asking is this. If it's not about skill, if it's not about art, then what are we keeping alive? Now the next thing he touched on was something people love to talk about, but rarely understand. Wealth. We're talking about $1 billion man. We're talking about a level most of us will never see. And with that comes judgment. People look at somebody like JayZ and say, money changed him. You can't be moral with that much money. And he addressed that directly. He said your morality is not defined by your dollar amount. And that line right there is going to make a lot of people uncomfortable.
Your morality defines who you are, mm-hmm. right? It's not what you've attained. It's not a dollar amount that changes you.
Yeah.
And if so, what is that dollar amount? Mm-hmm. When does it start? Is it 100,000? Is it 150? Like at what point, if it's a cutoff, if it's like all millionaires are bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 999,000, I'm good. It can't be that way, right? It doesn't make any sense. The system is set up against me, against us. But I'm talking about my specific struggle.
Yeah.
Everything was against me. My talent not taking advantage of people, not taking advantage of a system, not creating tax loopholes, not just taking from other people. No, my talent pushed against all the headwind. And with that success, I've done things with my reach that I wanted to do that was helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And with the system that we have, what are you going to do? Because I don't believe in that the idea that someone has a certain amount of money, it defines their personality.
Mm-hmm. So when you have like an example like that versus like the kind of, I would say, commonplace public perception that someone would say all billionaires are bad or no one should have $1 billion. Like, what's the tension in that?
I got to give you the honest answer.
Please.
There's no tension.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you say. You can believe what you want to believe.
Word.
You know, and people behave the way they want to behave.
Mm-hmm. You was who you was before you got here.
You was who you was before you got here. Yeah. That's the makeup of your person.
You can tell by that, he ain't trying to win a popularity contest. He ain't trying to sound good. He's trying to sound honest. He said demonizing money is a cop-out. And what he meant by that is this. It's easy to blame rich people. It's harder to fix the system. And whether you agree with him or not, that conversation is worth having. Now let's slow down for a second, because one of the most important parts of this interview ain't got nothing to do with business and everything to do with fatherhood. He talked about his daughter, Blue Ivy Carter, and you can hear the difference in his voice when he speaks on her.
What was it like watching Blue come into her own even more on this most recent tour?
That was amazing. You know, because on the first tour, you know, there was a lot of conversation around her first performance. Mm-hmm. And she worked really hard to get to that point, but she still wasn't going for it. She still was like going through the motions. And then after that, she just started going for it. Like she started fighting back. I saw her fight maybe for the first time in her life, like fighting back. Mm-hmm. You know, like not everything is just given to her and everything is easy. She had to fight for that. And she fought for it.
That ain't business JayZ. That's father JayZ. He talked about her work ethic. He talked about her putting in the work and being on stage. And that's what hit him. Not the fame, not the spotlight, but her effort. Because any man who built something knows if your child has that work ethic, then you did something right. And that's the part that money can't buy. Now let's talk about the pressure. Because even at his level, he made it clear that the pressure don't disappear. He mentioned the lawsuit that pushed him to a breaking point. He didn't dramatize it. He just said it.
Looking back on the last year.
It was hard. Really hard. I was like heartbroken.
Really?
Yeah. I'm glad we got right to that, you know, so we could just get that out the way.
Okay.
Like I was really heartbroken by like everything that occurred, you know, with all like, you know, we in the space now where it's just like almost like consequence is not thought about enough. So everything is so instant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like that whole Busby.
This civil lawsuit that was dropped, dismissed.
That shit took a lot out of me. I was angry. I haven't been that angry in a long time. Uncontrollable anger. Like you don't put that on someone. Like that's the thing that you better be super sure. It used to be like that. Like you have to be super sure before you put those kind of things on a person. Especially a person like me.
Sometimes the quiet statements hit harder than the loud ones because success does not remove struggle. It just changes the type of struggle you deal with. And that's something people need to understand. You don't never arrive at a place where life gets easy. You arrive at a place where you handle hard things different. And that's what you're hearing in his voice through this whole interview. Control, perspective, and most importantly, peace. Now, let's bring this part the way it needs to be. This interview is not about proving anything. It's about positioning. It's about a man who knows exactly where he stands and he's moving like it. He ain't chasing relevance. He ain't chasing approval. He's operating from completion while still in the building. And that's a level that most people never reach. So when he says 2026 is all offense, you hearing a man who done played every role and now he choosing how the future gonna look. When you hear JayZ speak like this, you're not listening to a rapper no more. You listening to a man who understands exactly where he sits in history. And that's a different type of confidence. This ain't the confidence of somebody trying to prove they the best. This is the confidence of somebody who already knows that they are part of the foundation. And when you get to that point, your moves change, your decisions change, your silence even changes. Now let's talk about Yankee Stadium. 2 nights, performing Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint back to back. 35 and 25 years later. That's not a concert, that's a statement piece. That's a man taking 2 of the most important projects in hip hop history and presenting them like artwork. And when you think about that, you start to understand what he's doing. he's not competing with today. He's curating his legacy. And that's a whole different game because anybody can drop music. Anybody can chase a hit. But not everybody can step back and present their work like it matters forever. And that's what this is. Now, let's talk about the music question. Because no matter how far he's gone or no matter what he's built, people still always want to know one thing. Is there new music coming?
And they sounded kind of like fiery and maybe not anything you wanted to put out. So it made me wonder, like, what are the hallmarks of a great JayZ album right now? Like, what are you trying to put out there that you would want to put out there?
I don't know yet. I don't know. But I know that we have enough negativity currently.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what I need to create currently that's gonna like fulfill me.
Okay.
And make me happy, because that's most important.
Yeah.
Right. And whatever that feeling is, will vibrate and like, touch people in a way with its honesty. And maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm stopping myself from just creating.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to create something that people like.
Yeah.
Is where I think a lot of artists get jammed up.
Right.
You can see he's not moving with urgency. He's moving with intention. And that's the difference between somebody who chooses to drop and somebody who needs to drop. You don't have to prove he can still rap. He don't have to remind you of who he is. And if he decides to do another project, it's because it means something to him, not because it's the right time. And that right there is the power. Now, let's connect this back to 2026 is all offense. Because when you look at everything he said, you start to see what that really means. It means he's not responding to criticism anymore. It means he's not explaining his decisions anymore. It means he's moving based on vision and not reaction. And that's where most people get stuck. They spend their whole life responding to opinions, responding to doubt, responding to noise. And before you know it, they never built anything real. They just keep defending what they did. And JayZ is telling you, without saying it directly, that phase is over for him. Now let's talk about something even deeper. Peace. Because throughout this interview, you can hear it. You can hear a man who is not at war with himself. You can hear a man who is not trying to convince you of anything. And that's rare, especially at his level. Because most people with that much success are still trying to hold on to something. Still trying to prove they belong. Still trying to win something that don't even matter anymore. But this feels different. It feels like somebody who already knows they won and is now deciding what winning looks like going forward. To me, this interview was not about headlines. It was about positioning. It was about a man stepping into a new phase without announcing it loudly. It was about letting his actions speak louder than his words. And that's why that one line keeps coming back. We played enough defense. 2026 is all offense. That's not just for him. That's for anybody who's been stuck explaining themselves for too long. That's for people who've been responding to people who don't even matter. That's for anybody who knows they got more in them, but they keep waiting for the right time. He's telling you the time is now. And once you make that shift, everything is gonna change. Like, comment, subscribe, establish rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.